Welcome to Squatchin Holler.
In the mist where the trees lean low, Squatchin Holler's got a tale to show. Whispers creep like a creature's faint howl. Every shadow's got a secret to growl. Monsters rise where the stories are told. Squatchin Holler where the legends are born. Are they here? Are they gone? Who can say? In the holler, the truth just slips away. Huge footprints fade where the creek runs thin. A lantern sways, let the search begin. Rustling leaves, but there's no one near. Is it the wind or the beast you fear? Every echo's a question, every rustle's a clue. Squatchin Holler's got its eyes on you. Monsters rise where the stories are torn. Squatchin Holler where the legends are born. Are they here? Are they gone? Who can say?
And now, with your Squatchin Holler hosts, Roger Williams, Amanda Stowers, and Ashley Range. Remember, this podcast can be downloaded everywhere great podcasts are found. And now the show.
Hello, everybody. Welcome in. Thank y'all for showing up for episode 2. Y'all showed out last week. The numbers are crazy good. Thank y'all. We decided to do a get to know us show because there were some comments. You know how you have comments after the show, and they were kind of derogatory or whatever. But the person didn't watch the show, and I thought, they're kind of right in what they were saying. They're just a little bit, mean, but I got to thinking, so, our people that have been with us all along, and we built a really, really a loyal base of just family. And we got thrown into this, the viewership, 10 times probably what it was. So we decided to, like, hey, this is where we come from. There's going to be a lot of pictures for those that are listening on the podcast tomorrow and on after this. There's going to be a lot of pictures, a few videos. It's going to show, how we try to be different, where we came from, some of our stories. We won't get into a lot of detail, but if you want to hear like detailed stories, all you have to do is Google my name, Roger Williams, and then Tennessee Bigfoot, and then Amanda, the Bigfoot lady, Squatchin Holler and Bigfoot and all that. And there's a lot of videos that have come up, shows we've been on and all that. So anyway, thank y'all for coming in. A lot of times your negative feedback you can turn it into a positive, and it gave us this idea to just have a front porch sit down. Hey, this is us. This is where we came from. A lot of you know this. A lot of you don't. So I'm going to welcome in two co-hosts. We got Amanda and Ashley, or as my text likes to change to Ashley, but welcome. How y'all doing?
We're good tonight, Roger. How are you?
Doing good. I thank y'all for being here. And y'all, if you have the lighting looks pretty good now. Maybe it's just because we went live. So I don't know if y'all made changes, but looks good.
Whatever it is, the technology gremlins are in full effect this evening.
Yeah. So the people that know us know that we take the subject seriously. We don't take ourselves too seriously. It may be a turnoff for some, but I promise you, when we're in the woods or Amanda's taking reports at the museum, which I imagine you do daily, right? Multiple
Just about
times.
it, yeah.
Ashley's in the Pacific Northwest, so I'm sure there's a lot going on up there that we don't hear about, on the TV and so and like when Ashley decides to go explore, she goes big time because she goes to Scotland and brings us stuff like this. And, so and I know some people are like, oh, this guy said, oh, it's unoriginal and I'm not even going to watch it. I'm like, okay, well, we've prided ourselves on being a little different, trying to bring people together on each side and say, hey, how can we all be just a little bit right? These people over here are adamant that it's, flesh and blood only. And these people over here are woo. And we're like, okay, well, that's fine. It's okay. But how can everybody's so passionate, about it? How can we all be a little bit right? And it's worked because we have people here that have normally wouldn't be in the same room together. And we've brought up points, y'all, I know y'all been I don't know, cryptid fans or whatever for a long time. And
really, you don't say. What gave you that impression?
And the way it's the way this team formed was kind of accidental.
Very.
You prefer the term synchronicity, Roger?
Exactly. We talk about that all the time. I had to look the word synchronicity up. I kind of knew what it was. I thought it had something to do with my Mopar transmission, but it so yeah. And y'all, there'll be people come in that'll be smart alecks or whatever, as long as they don't cross a few lines. And my rules are, as long as you don't make any sexual advances or comments towards anybody in chat or the ladies here, we'll be fine. The banner and the conversations, we love it. Even if y'all talking about what you bought at Kroger's, that's fine. It doesn't bother me, and
which, by the way, in the PNW we say Fred Meyer, so right, like not just cryptids.
I don't know what that is. I think yeah, we're in Tennessee, we're going down to Dollar Store. But and that covers all of them, any of them. So
right? Are you sure it's not the holler dollar?
The holler dollar now. Yeah, I saw that online, and
that was great.
My son, y'all have heard this before, but he said, sometimes he's dry, his humor. He said, I said, man, it seems like there's a Dollar General popped up every 8 miles or so. We drove across country, Nebraska, Wyoming, all Utah, and a lot of those states are same as here. It's like Heather's like, oh, we forgot whatever, and I'm like, 7 or 8 more miles, we'll pull over to Dollar General, and and we'll get some, buy what we need. But he said, I think I figured it out, Dad. I said, what's that? How? He said, I think everybody needs to keep their receipts and throw them away and make sure, because I believe what happens is these receipts get in the wind and roll and get out in the field and it rains on it and a
new one sprouts up.
Yeah.
So,
like a tumbleweed.
So for everybody who knows, there's probably some new people here, as Roger pointed out, I'm in Washington State, PNW. Roger's in Tennessee, and Amanda is in Georgia. And so not only there are 3 completely different time zones as it is, but also full disclosure for everyone who doesn't know, Amanda is my very bestest friend in the whole wide world. And as a part of that, we do tend to visit each other quite often throughout the years. And I have had the absolute pleasure of being accepted into the arms of Georgia, so to speak. And a part of that was getting educated on the Dollar Generals. And it's really funny to me. It's like, oh, which one are we going to? The nice one? Oh, let me go get presentable.
Right. Yeah.
So we're going to
we're going to the one around the corner. No, we're just leaving our PJs on. We're going down
PJs on.
And that's true. And that's the truth. Y'all. So our origin stories can be heard on, Woodwalk. Mine was Woodwalkers, Sawdust Beast. Bigfoot Society was a big one for Jeremiah. We've become friends. And
Jeremiah's a good
so
dude.
he is. And just Google, like I said, the ones that just come in, Google Roger Williams, Bigfoot, Tennessee. You can hear my stories in detail. I'll hit the high points here, but we're not, if we all got into our stories, we would be here in the morning. So
yeah, all night.
And
yeah, definitely all night.
and what it's done, it's brought us together, but it's not just us, the people in chat, the people that listen, a lot of these people that I see right here, Patrick Noble, Blackie, BF Bud, Gary Spikes, Ristel,
Hillary.
We've hung out together, and it's like family. It's better than family, actually.
And a shout out to Miss Shannon, who lives all the way over in Europe and watches us during the night. So
Shannon or Sharon?
I'm sorry if I said your name wrong.
That was our accent. We'll blame it on that.
Yeah,
hey,
it's totally my accent.
Y'all, I got to behave. My wife's in chat. Heather. Hey, Heather.
Sharon, there she is. Gracious.
There you go.
I'm sorry, Miss Sharon.
Darling. I'm picking with you. She knew. Miss Diane, Sherry. So, and we have to get used to the idea. Hey, we're on a podcast now, and there's a lot of people that see what's going on. So,
foot and mouth.
Like I said, if you're listening to it on a podcast tomorrow or next week, go to Untold Radio Network, and you can watch it. You can watch what we did. Also, some of the stuff we'll be talking about is on the old Squatchin Holler channel that we started. Let's see, how can they find that? At R Dodger 1971 is put it in the YouTube search. Boom, it'll pop up. There's all kinds of videos, live shows. We've had some great guests. And if we start
names in there for sure already.
If we start naming them, we're going to leave somebody out, and somebody's going to be mad. But go check it out. I even have I jokingly called it soundtrack. There's like 8 songs that my son and I wrote and AI'd and all that. So you can go on the playlist and listen to those. I have a playlist of the episodes. So anytime we mention something tonight, it's probably going to be on the other.
Findable.
Yes, it'd be findable. So, thank you, Mr. Gary.
Thank you, Gary.
Thanks, Gary.
Oh, and if y'all see me in chat on other shows, I've lost access to that right now. Gary Spikes gave me a nickname last year, so he calls me Roger Holler. So if y'all see a Roger Holler show up in chat, that's me. So I had somebody ask me like, "Is that you? Really you?" I'm like, "Yeah." So okay. So anyway,
good guy Gary, always looking out. Thanks, Gary.
I know.
He really is.
No offense to the other blue wrenches, but the other blue wrenches will tell you Gary is like at the top, right? So I think he taught Hillary everything she knows. So, but she'll get me now. But so y'all, I guess we can start out. I had an encounter when I was 14. It absolutely changed my life. Amanda had an encounter. Ashley seen some weird stuff. And it's just that
was just at the family reunion. No.
Yeah. And it changes how you think about things. What if that's real, what else is real? And it's I'm 54 years old. That was 40 years ago. And I'm talking on the internets about Bigfoot and other things. We'll include other things. So I'll show. I want to show the field. I drove by a couple years ago. There's a lot of developing going on, and I'm like, I need to take a picture right now. We lived on the right side of this picture, which is out of view. This is the field that the Bigfoot walked out in. We're you see that little road there? You barely can see it. That's an access to a cemetery. I was in the field across that road, but this is a different angle here. But if you go to the bottom left, the very far hay bale and go up to that corner. That's where he stepped out.
Oh,
And he
wow.
walked, he turned and looked at me and walked and went up that hill to that gap up there. There's a gate, about 30 or 40 yards. You can't see it. And that's where he went. And that's where I'd walked up that hill. And this is clean. Back then it was really high grass. So, that's where my first encounter happened. And you can go, if you want to look up, BFRO report number 78519, you can read what happened. There's some things that are not in there. It's there's no big deal. They were really thorough. I was really impressed with the interview process, and they really dig into it, which they need to. And all my life, the hoaxers, I hate the hoaxers. I don't hate anybody, but I couldn't talk about it anyway. And here these people are getting caught hoaxing, and people are like, I told you it wasn't real. And that's these little shows here have made it really nice. It's a really nice place. I started this to learn. And I want to give a shout out, y'all. Kerrigan, she was my work daughter, the place we were working. Me being old school, they're like, hey, we're working in this area. If you want to listen to podcasts or listen to your phone, listen to music, go ahead. Well, I'm sitting here, the old guy, and I didn't have anything. Well, Kerrigan, such a sweetheart. She brought me a wireless earbud, I guess. And she said, here, what do you want to listen to? I said, I don't care. So we started listening to mystery podcasts. Now, what is this? And she's like, oh, they have everything. Well, on the way home, I'm like, I wonder if they have Bigfoot. And oh my God. And
do they, right?
And they do. So you're talking about synchronicity and happy little accidents like Bob Ross. I was listening to one on the way home, and this guy told his story, and then he put his email out there. Hey, if you want to talk about an encounter, hit me up. And this was on Bigfoot and Beyond. This is one of the biggest ones with Cliff and Bobo. And of course,
shout out to Cliff and Bobo.
Yeah. So we all know their names, right? And I get home, and something in me said, you got to email this guy. And I'm like, no, yes. I struggled with it. And I did. Gave him my phone number. He called, ended up telling my story. And oh, y'all, it felt so good to finally get it out there. It's like, I know I'm going to get made fun of, but that's fine. But once I put it out there, it gave me a peace, so to speak.
It really does.
And I didn't realize, that would happen with.
That you were holding on to it, and what it was doing to you to hold on to it.
Yeah, and then you'd hear people make fun, like, "Oh, did you see that?" And then somebody was hoaxing, and "Did you see that crap?" And I'm like, "Oh man, this is never going to be." How I'm sitting in a room and I know they're real, and I can't talk about it. I don't care what it is, if it's something paradigm changing, if that's using that right, whether it's UFOs or whatever, and you can't talk about it. Yeah, it without realizing it does do something to you. So after that, I went to my first Bigfoot convention in Gatlinburg. It was on the first anniversary of my dad's passing. And I'm like, Peyton, instead of sitting around being, moping around for the whole weekend, let's go to Gatlinburg, and I'll show you some of his favorite places he used to like to go, like Smoky Mountain Knife Works, something like that. It was amazing. We went to Tell the Dragon up through there. We went to my dad's favorite places, and we went to the Bigfoot conference, and I ended up on stage. So here's a picture somebody in the audience took and sent it to me. And then I was scared to death. Public speaking is not my forte at all.
And now look at us here on the
podcast. Now look at you.
Yes, and it led to one of the coolest videos. My son took it. If I can find it here. He's pretty crafty. Here they are. I guess you got to go to the videos. We're still learning. Yeah. And so this 10-second clip here, this is this is when I came off stage. RPG was like, thought I was going to pass out. He was tickled that I didn't. He gave me a big hug. Cliff Barack was backstage and was like, hey, there you go. Like, he was really happy that I didn't die up there. And Brian King Sharp hands off the mic to the king. Thanks, Kenny.
Thanks, Kenny.
He hands off the mic like he was handing it to the king. We just had a big laugh about it.
Yeah, Brian King Sharp. I love getting on this part, man. Everyone enjoyed it.
So all this happened. It's like, what in the world just happened? You know, I told my story.
It looks like your heart is in your throat.
Oh my God. Y'all, I was looking out there and there were so many people, and I kind of unfocused my eyes and act like I was looking at people. And, but the thing was, before I went up, I realized, look, I'm telling my story. I know what it is. I should be good. Right.
Exactly.
And it ended up being really good for me. And I told Brian Sharp, King Sharp, when we interviewed him, Amanda, you remember, I was like, you know, after that, it gave me the confidence to do this. So if it hadn't been that one moment, I wouldn't be here. And we've got to talk to so many great people. And I've got really great, real researchers, real people that have been doing this for decades, that I can call up or they call me and we talk about things. I was talking to a guy the other day, and it jogged a memory about my dog getting injured, and he was like, and it's where I saw the booger, we call them down here. But so, and then it leads to going out in the woods, people calling you like, hey, can you come check this out? I'm covered from head to toe in chiggers. Because,
oh gracious, you got them good.
So we went Friday, and you know, we're putting together a video of local stories, Bigfoot stories, and it's going slow, but it's going well. And we're on site. KDG, you are too, man.
Yeah.
So, we're on site. Y'all know I'm disabled. I've had hip surgery, so they drove up and we walked just a little ways and filmed. And you know, I'm going to go through this quickly because I don't want to take the whole time. You know, this is a small track we found in Bankhead National Forest. Me and my son. It had toes. It's hard to see here. You know, we're not seasoned researchers, but this one looked like it didn't walk out of the woods with the mom. It looked like it was set down. You know, like it may have been carrying it. This is on our south end hot spot. This X here, I wouldn't have known what that was. I think it was the right side. The one on the right was brought in from somewhere else. The other one of them had a root system. I can't remember which one it was. So it was pushed over, and the other one was brought in from somewhere.
Roger, can I just interrupt real quick and say, like, for the audience, I just want to make it very clear, as close as we are, as much as we communicate about the show and just personally, some of this stuff is also new to us. I can't speak for you, Amanda, but this is the first time I'm seeing this live, and this is pretty remarkable.
It really is. And yeah, going back to that footprint you were just sharing.
Yes, please.
It's amazing that even though as small as it is,
you can clearly see the detail.
Yeah, how deep it is in the mud, sand, dirt, or whatever it is there. That's pretty remarkable.
And
implies density.
And there are more pictures, and Peyton even did a LiDAR scan of one of them. I don't have that. The thing about this was when y'all hear, like we had a comment that said, "Oh, he's had," you're talking about Greg at the man cave. He's had 100 encounters and not one picture. He's just vicious and mean. The first time I went to the river behind his house, we found tracks. We're not the only ones. It's this. What was odd about this? Those tracks just appeared. It didn't jump out of the woods. We believe by looking at it that it was a small one, and the mom dropped it, let it down, and both feet did this. Then it walked over, and one foot was turned right, resting on a rock, and the other one was, on the left. There's a video on the channel of this, and I say some excited, mild, ugly words, like, because I'm like, "There's toes! Oh my god!" And so we were excited. These are the first tracks we'd found, and there's another picture I have somewhere where it looked like the mom laid down on its side, but I'm not an expert, and the baby, I believe, the little one, took its 3 fingers and raked it through it. It's definitely fingers, and it lightly did that, So I've made tons of mistakes.
I honestly don't mean this sarcastic. It's funny to me because it almost reminds me of what do you want to call it? It's almost like a joke now, but the superhero landing, when you hit hard, yeah, it makes that kind of impact.
It's that means it didn't go heel to toe.
Exactly.
It went straight down.
Yeah.
Straight down. Exactly.
Right. So that's why I took the picture of that right there, because it was so different. Like, okay, this is where she set this thing down. And for the people that are listening, we are so far past, are these things real? We all know. We know. We've seen them. We've had, things happen. So we're not.
Was there any tree nearby it, Roger? Because my first thought is a lot of the young Bigfoot reports, you see them in trees. And is it possible it could have jumped from a tree and landed that hard?
It was, the trees were so far up the bank that I don't believe that was possible. And I would think if it jumped out that far, it would have still landed. I don't know if
the pattern would have looked different.
It would look different, and there would have been probably, unless it stuck the landing, like, Mary Lee Retton. I don't know if you're old enough to know that.
Yeah.
Then it looked like a natural spot where it exited the mom off of the side. Maybe she dropped it down. Then that leads to I was at the LBL with my wife and our dog Honey. We were having a meet and greet. I went up the week of Thanksgiving a couple years ago, and I've got a video. I didn't do a very good job. I didn't have my phone with me, but in the video,
oh wow,
I'm looking at this track, and there's 30 or 40 tracks, small ones, big ones. Now, this is an exact same spot as these were found 3 years earlier. The same lake, the same bay, exact same spot.
Yeah, sorry, didn't mean to cut you off. I'm just saying, for our audio listeners, this is crazy. So the first print that you showed, it has a very narrow heel and then widens out in almost a triangle shape to the very splayed toes.
Yeah.
And you can see pretty distinct ones. I can count at least 4. 5 is probably there. But like you said, it's a screenshot. But then you go back to the other one there, the one that was found previously, and it's almost identical. So it makes me wonder if that's not the same individual.
So when
do we have access to like pointer? Can we point on these pictures, guys?
I don't think so.
You could almost see. I don't know why I'm pointing, as if you guys or the audience can see, but for me, I'm pointing. You can see you can see the bend in the print, especially this one, the way that the toe almost digs in as the foot's moving.
Yeah.
Gosh, anybody got Jeff Meldrum on speed dial? Can we just
And let me give the credit to this is from the Patrick. He's in chat. Patrick Noble and Shelley Reed found these, and almost 3 years to the day later, I found these others. Now, and what was funny,
that's remarkable, Roger.
I had no idea about their trackaway. And if you go look on Squatchin Holler, we've got a couple interviews about how they preserved them, how they went and all worked together. They've got like 10 or 11 of them casted, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
I think so, from what I remember. Yeah, that was really interesting to get all the details behind that, how it all ended up. They weren't meant to be found. They were just there camping on a Bigfoot expedition, and they were there. They weren't there one day, and the next day they were, and how they had to go about trying to get those preserved and the way you could see the trackway, and so then you could see the movement of the creatures. Just the whole story behind it is
Right.
really cool. That was one of my favorite interviews we did.
And when I posted this, being uneducated on what went on 3 years prior, I started getting all these messages like, "Oh my God, that looks like what Patrick and Shelley found, and we casted them." And I'm getting all these pictures, and the thing was the there are more, and y'all, I did not cast one. I didn't have anything. I was actually scared because it hadn't rained in 2 months. It drizzled rain that night, and these were
What
fresh. So
what
I was scared.
direction is this one in particular going, Roger? Do you recall?
I'm thinking it's west because the road runs north and south through the LBL. I was at the Land Between the Lakes. The road runs north and south. We were on the left. Yeah, so it'd be, I believe it was west. Now, there was a set of tracks that looked different, like a female. If you listen to some of the researchers, and there were little ones, and they were running back and forth. They were about the size of the one or bigger that I showed you earlier. And when I said that, or Debbie, your porch, Amanda, if you remember the tracks they found, the little ones were doing the same thing. They were running back and forth and crossing. The adults were walking one way, stayed on track. The little ones were running everywhere.
I
And
remember
Like
that.
do?
yeah, and so this was accident, y'all. Every piece of evidence I have is pure accident. Now, in 2020, we went. This is a tree that was snapped, and we went back a couple years later, and the top was gone. But we were scouting new place to hunt, south end of the county, and this is where we found that tree break, and we're looking around like, what caused that? There's no reason for it. This is the spot where when I stepped past that, the rock about double fist size come out of a cedar thicket and landed. It bounced at us down the hill.
Snap.
He's looking up the hill to where the rock came from, but I was over to the right, up the hill from him, and that's what started all this back again. Because for 35 years, I didn't have anything. I had a sighting. I heard some screams and all that. For 35 years, I had nothing happen. And then this spot right here was what got me back into it because of the rock being thrown at us. And then we've had a lot of stuff happen at this place. Now, there's a few of these. Y'all, these are locust trees. They're very hard. They have 2 and 3 and 4 inch thorns. And this tree shouldn't be broke. It has no scuffs on it. Every thorn is intact. It wasn't done by machine. It wasn't done by anybody with an axe. So we're like, what is this? This is a couple years later.
And for the naysayers out there, there wasn't any kind of snowstorm, ice storm, or anything like that. Because I know we get big ice storms down here.
The tree manipulation is some of my all-time favorite evidence because it's one that doesn't necessarily come to most. Well, I should rephrase. People like us, I think we have kind of an understanding, but for your just general person who is aware of Bigfoot, they're not necessarily thinking of it. Oh my gosh, it's so fascinating because it's like, that ain't a bear, it ain't a cougar. What is it? And even if it has nothing to do with Bigfoot, what is it? And
exactly what's doing it?
Well, it's funny. Have you ever watched Slumdog Millionaire, the movie?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's like the kid had all these things happen to him all his life. So when things come up, it's like he had experience. Well,
he needs answers. Yeah.
We had an ice storm here in like 94, and it was horrible, y'all. There were people that were without power for a month around here, and we spent all the next couple of days cutting trees for neighbors and trying to get home. We slept at our store that night. And so I got to see what the softer trees look like under an ice load and what the hardwoods look like. And what amazed me, we had a big, huge Douglas fir in the yard, and it just folded down just as pretty and took care of itself because the limbs come off the main part at an angle down. So when all that ice got on it, it just folded down and it was like a pencil. Didn't have
Wow.
the first limb didn't break because that's probably they're used to that type of weather where they're originally from, I'm assuming. Now these other trees, yeah,
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 we got Peyton
that's my
jumping
son
in
there,
here
y'all.
saying
Shout out to Peyton. Woo!
So
yeah, it was the only tree in the area that was not broke,
that was broke.
or that was
Now
broke. Excuse me.
now
Sorry.
so with him, let's say we walk up on like this one here. This was last Friday where we took
Oh
that
wow.
report. Yeah. So if we
How
see
tall is
something
he?
like this, he's 6 foot. So that's what, 7.5 foot probably.
Probably. That's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
And if we see something like this, we don't just say, "Oh, Bigfoot did it." We look around, see if it's natural.
Mhm.
There's times when, so what we call these things are like the how did this happen incident, because this one was unexplainable. This one here, now, this one was in the same area. I don't know how that happened because it was hooked under over there. You can't see it, but maybe that is natural. It was funny that there wasn't many others like that. I don't know when that tree was done like that. Was it done like that when it was young? I don't know. But we've seen the Native American marker trees. We see those every now and then.
Mhm.
This totally different. Actually, we found one on this property, and it's
Oh,
close to the Elk River. If any of y'all looked that up, the Elk River cluster, the Flintville monster, all that. We were 10 miles from the Flintville monster incident from the 70s and 80s, and they're still being seen sporadically. But going back to this one, so every year since he found that one, there's been a new one on that same ridge. Well, talking to Kane Michael, it's a markers in a language, and after we talked to him, I'm like, I need to look at these different. So what does it have in common? So every year for 3 years, we found a new one, and the common thing of how it's broken is Peyton's tree stand. If you walk like where we're taking the picture, if you walk behind us and go about 80 to 100 yards, it slopes up into the woods, hardwoods with acorns and stuff. Really good place to hunt. If you go past that, that's where his stand is. And every year there's been a new one just broke just like that. We don't know what it means. But I know a man didn't do that, because any man or woman that can go in there and break one of those trees with their hands, I don't want to be in the same state with them, because that's one of the hardest trees you'll ever come across right there. Also, the other one was about 10 foot up. I have a picture. I didn't include it. But we found a new one this year, and it's not far from this one. But it was broken to the right. And I'm like, Peyton, we know we got water down there, the springs down there. What else is down there? Because we haven't seen this before. He said, well, there's a new guy hunting down at the bottom of that ridge, and it's pointing right toward this stand. I'm like, okay. Now, we don't know what it means, but you need to document. Okay, maybe it does. The last tree we found like that, the small one that was broken over and pointing, since we talked to Kane, I'm like, let's look around and see if it's a directional marker. There was no reason for it to be broken. It was a hardwood. We went over 30, 40 yards. There was an old well. It was water source. And I had full body goosebumps. Does it mean that's what it is? No, but maybe we're on to something, and I'll give credit to Kane, because he's taught us a lot. Y'all can go watch some of the Squatchin Holler on the other channel, and you see Kane Michael. Very interesting guy. He was on Flash of Beauty here a while back. He's working on something else. He can't tell us what it is, of course. I don't know. I do know some things he's involved in. It's pretty cool. And but I just giving y'all background. I've been, we've been to Land Between the Lakes so many times. One of the scariest things that happened there, of course, that white wolf was crazy. It was after midnight that night. We ran up on him on the road. That story's on there too. But when we were at the meet and greet, you would think animals wouldn't come around 100 people, camping. But we were backed up to the woods, and something was walking through the woods, breaking sticks and being loud. And I could hear people at the fire saying, "What is that? What is that?" Well, whatever it was came up behind the tent and within 3 foot of me. And Heather's like, "What is that?" I don't know, but it was breathing really congested, like that. Didn't sound like a hog or whatever.
It wasn't you, was it, Roger?
No, it wasn't
kidding.
me. I was awake. And people, 30, 40 yards away was hearing it. And Gary Spikes was there. Of course, he's one of our moderators, good man. Billy Schilling and Wendell, they found big tracks the next morning in the dry creek bed. And they said it was a Bigfoot. I don't know. I know it was scary because when you're in a tent like that and can't see what's going on. Now here, Greg lives, he butts up against this. We know several people, Bama, Kumbo and all them. Bankhead is really eerie. We've been there a few times. I'll share a picture. This is an hour and a half from me in Alabama, northwest Alabama. Alabama's full of national forests, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Tons of acreage.
Yeah, we get so many reports out of Alabama there at the museum. So
yeah, and I'm running through this
place quickly. I want to get into.
I'm running through this quickly, but I'm trying to let y'all know, hey, you can go check this video out or whatever. Now, just a few weeks ago, we went to the LBO and stayed all night. We drove up, stayed all night, rode around the back roads, looking, stopping, making some calls, and we came back the next morning, and this is awesome picture. This is where the buffalo or the buffalo field. This is at nighttime. I don't know, about around midnight, and you talking about eerie. But I have something. Y'all turn your speakers up, because this was in Alabama. You can hear it with headphones on, and I'm going to play it. We caught this on the iPhone, which is really tough when you're trying to catch audio. I wasn't expecting it, of course, and of course it was darker than it looks on here. But I'm going to play it maybe a couple times. Y'all get your volume turned up, get your headphones on.
It looks like that could be a movie poster.
Oh, I know. I couldn't believe it showed it. If we could get rid of the power lines there, it would be awesome. But with this video clip, I shortened it to 12 seconds. I sent it to some BFRO members, researchers. They passed it around. I don't know with who, but up at top, it came back to me that night, and they're like, we think this could be a Bigfoot. And I didn't tell them who recorded it, and they're like, why did the people think it was a Bigfoot? I said, that was me. That's my wife that you see there. And they're like, oh my God, why didn't you tell us? I'm like, I didn't want you to know. I wanted to, you know what I mean? I wanted to, so y'all, here we go. And if you can't hear it, I'm sorry. Come back and listen to it later with your headphones. Is that on his? So there was 3 more calls, and that one was so loud live that almost it shook me a little bit, because you could tell already. I knew what it was because I've heard it before, and I was looking. There was the guy standing up there, and y'all seen him on Flash of Beauty too. But I knew it was impossible for a phone to be as loud as that was.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm trying to run through everything really quickly, but what happens just a few seconds later, after that one stops, one down the ridge, you could hear the whippoorwill. Close to the whippoorwill, another one answered back.
What's the whippoorwill?
It's the bird that you hear. I'll play it again. You hear the bird. It's aggravating, and a lot of times when they set off, they won't quit they'll go all night. But so we had the second call answer back, and I'm like, no. And I'm like, come on, let's go. And third one across the ridge, kind of in a triangle pattern. The third one answered back across the ridge way off. That kind of sounded like this one, but this one about knocked us down, but you can't tell it. I'll play it one more time. You can hear the whippoorwill going crazy. The coyotes, after the third one, the coyotes started going crazy.
That's telling.
Yes. And here we go. We'll do it one more time. It's 12 seconds. You can hear the whippoorwill. It's it's awful. Here we go. Is that on his? So you hear the whippoorwill in the background. I didn't hear it before that. Maybe y'all can or whatever. I don't know if that set off the whippoorwill. But what's funny is up here in our north end hotspot, a lot of times on our more active nights, the whippoorwills are doing that. So I don't know whether they're trying to warn other whippoorwills that there's danger. I don't know. I know that, if I'm in the woods and there are no squirrels, no birds, and nothing's making noise, that I need to be careful, because
You need to be not there.
yeah,
Yeah.
and it could be wolves or coyotes or any kind of predator. If I walk in, they're going to be quiet for a while, and then sit down, they'll be okay. But if everything gets quiet all of a sudden, I've seen it happen with snakes come in, and the field mice and chipmunks, they leave. Red-tailed hawks circling, they'll scream out. The everything else, birds, anything on the ground, chickens, rats, whatever, field mice, they'll leave. They'll hide instantly. So they'll get quiet. So
it's pretty interesting. I don't know about you, Roger, but for me growing up, it was always an old wives' tale that if you heard the whippoorwill, that somebody was going to pass away.
well,
so there was or something along that effect, that hearing the whippoorwill at a certain time, that was always something bad.
Yes.
Or it's like a bad omen or something. So I'm going to have to dig into that one as far as like Bigfoot stuff or cryptid stuff is concerned. So
crows. If I'm hunting and I see 3 or 4 crows or a crow or some birds flush and go, let's say, to the right, and I'm looking to the left, because either somebody's walking through there or something's walking through there, or a predator, they're getting away. You can hit the crows will warn each other. The squirrels will go crazy sometimes. So these birds and animals have warning signals to their kin, right? So I don't know. I don't know if it has anything to do with it, but I thought it was odd that both places, even though they're, 2.5 hours. No, that was Holland. That's Talladega National Forest. 5 hours apart, or 6. They're hot spots. Both, there's weird stuff going on there. And speaking of weird stuff, just for y'all the new fans or the new people listening that are trying to make a decision on whether you like us or not, thank you for hanging around.
Right.
I'm going to show the orb video from maybe 6 weeks ago. This was in the same place as the screen came from, but this year, Kenny Shivers was with me, Harley Owens was with me, and Flat Rock was with me, and this was amazing. It looked to me through the viewfinder that it was about baseball size. It looked like a human cell. It had a membrane and it had a center nucleus. The camera is on black hot. Okay. So it looks like you can see, Amanda pointed it out when she first saw it. If you look real close, you can see through it, which that's what I could see. All right. Here
you really can.
So this is after midnight, Talladega National Forest, and it gets clear here, but it's pulsating. There you go. See through, and you see the nucleus and the outer edge like a membrane. We don't know. We're going to ask Miss Shoop next week.
Yeah, right there. That's what is so crazy to me, is how it just literally just falls.
Yes.
Down.
There's Kenny's back of Kenny's head. It's 26 seconds. We're going to play it again. Black hot. So now, before this happened, I was looking at a face and begging Flat Rock to turn it on because I didn't know anything about it. He had just bought it. This is less than 30 feet away, y'all. I don't know what this is. Now, the whippoorwills that we talked about, just before this, we caught them on thermal 2 or 3 times. They're solid and look like birds. They look like what they are. So
I'm not saying that it is friendly, but it has a very stereotype storybook kind of fairy wispiness to it, which is kind of funny because I think all legends spark from something. And if you see something like that kind of moving through the forest, radiating the light, it's like, oh, well, it's very fairy-like. And I just find that interesting.
Well, also, as it was happening, every time it would almost get I'm like, oh, it's gone. I'm thinking it's gone. It's gone. It's almost like it stopped and waited on me to catch up, is what it felt.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, intelligent or
Yeah,
conscious
definitely
or
intelligence behind it.
And you saw the back of his head there. Kenny's almost in the woods. He's got his face like that, this far from the foliage. And so when that thing drops, he's got his thermal out. Now, Flat Rock's thermals cost about 10 times what Kenny's does. He's still and he's watching. When it drops like that, it comes into view to Kenny. And Kenny says, I got it. Okay. And then when it goes up and to the right, we both at the same time said the exact same thing. It just left up and to the right in unison. It was the strangest thing ever. But what it did, it confirmed to Flat Rock and Harley that, hey, we're seeing the same thing. So that was like whether it was going to show
you're
up.
You're not crazy because I saw it too.
Right.
So whether it shows up on video or not, I don't know. And I'm on pins and needles until Flat Rock gets home. He goes over the video. He sends it to me. He said, we got it. I'm like, oh, and I'm watching. I'm just like, oh my God, I can't believe we got it. So, little history of Holland. There was a guy died in the early 80s. He got ripped apart by an unknown animal. It's on the 33rd parallel. There's quartz rocks everywhere laying across on the ground. I'm sure they're under the ground. Just before this, I had taken two and was showing them in the dark how to make coal fire. I never had done it before, and I saw it on TikTok. So, and I don't know with that energy. I don't know. I don't know what it is. And so I've sent it out to people. Haven't got any like, oh, it's this or that. Nobody knows. So Miss Shoop was going to be on with us next week, and maybe she said it's a type 1, and she can educate us on what that is. So bouncing around here, I'm gonna show this. When I walked out, I saw the tracks at LBL when I showed y'all the big track. When I was walking off, Heather was filming, and the windows were down and on the truck. And when I got back, the door was locked and the windows were up. And I'm like, what are you doing? And she said, when you were out there, a rock came out of the woods and bounced and went under the truck, or kind of under the truck, and sounded like it's like a golf ball almost, as it bounced, but it was definitely a rock. And she locked the door, and I said, that's a really good time to blow the horn, because I didn't have my phone with me. Of course, there's no signal anyway. But listen to her; it's so cute. I think it's cute. She's narrating. She's going to kill me for showing this.
There you go, searching for some tracks, some Squatch tracks. Or whatever kind of animal that could be running in these woods and coming out to the water.
So I didn't know she was doing that, but that just shows you how dry it was. If you go right now, or probably right now when the water's up, you wouldn't be able to step off of the ledge right there. There's water probably 6 foot deep or better all across that bay. So what people have found in that area is why they think they're coming there. They find the freshwater mussels shells, and they'll be stacked up in the woods. So they think they're going through and gathering those up. Probably other things. But
might I say she's a ride or die? I mean, I don't want to toot anybody's horn, but good for you, sir. That's impressive.
But when I got out there that far away from the truck, I saw the big track, and in the video, I almost like put it in the back of my head. Like, I didn't just see that. I didn't just see that. You can hear me say, that looks like a hill. And I'm thinking that looks like about 15, 16 inches or whatever. I don't know. And I'm like, oh no. And I start looking around like I'm out here by myself. And then the little ones, and I go through and I put my foot down close to one that's, about 1.5 inches, 2 inches deep. And my boot sinks up about 1/8 of an inch, so, whatever they were very heavy. So there's a lot of stuff we've done. We've had tons of Class Bs. I saw one about a year and a half ago. The vehicle I was driving just happened to have a large window. I'm sitting way up in this cargo van, and I see one standing there one morning right at daylight, and it just, people say, I want to see one. And I understand that, my son does, but I don't want to be too close to them. But and I still keep getting out there.
What they wish for.
Yeah. So what I want to present to y'all, we're in situations where I'm not going to dog out any other show or whatever, because I'm all for everybody doing fun stuff. We try to come at this. We're not. We've had things happen. We've seen things. We've been in scary situations. I could tell the one was throwing boulders and picking up logs and slamming trees, and we could hear the end of the log going through the woods, and the huff growl with the amount of air that come out scared the crap out of me. And then we've got a little one that screams 4 times off in the distance, and then there was something behind us that Peyton saw. So we've been caught it. I think we wore out our welcome, because we went 3 or 4 days a week for a couple to 2 or 3 weeks, and we got ran out. So there's a lot of things that happened that I'll tell later, but I like to go into detail to let people know what was going on or whatever. So, almost an hour in, I knew this was, we're good, but now we will shift gears to Amanda, and the people that don't know Amanda, where do you work at, Amanda?
So most people know me from my current job, which is amazing. I work for Expedition Bigfoot, the Sasquatch Museum in Blue Ridge, Georgia. And I've been into Bigfoot, Sasquatch, and all kinds of other cryptids long before that. So, like I said, I'm in a great spot where I live, eat, breathe, and kind of sleep Bigfoot every day. And that's my gig.
How many Bigfoot reports do you take on average per day? Average
per day, probably about 1. And the reason I say that is because we'll go through like 2 weeks or so and we not get anything. And then they'll have days like this past Saturday where like I literally can't even help run the register or anything because I'm talking to people all day. I think I took 4 reports this past weekend from different people. So
without mentioning,
they all start coming in, then it's like we'll go through like 2-3 weeks where it's like every day we're getting people either on the phone, people coming into the museum and stuff. So it's pretty amazing.
And for those who don't know, Amanda, it's not just a museum. It is, in fact, a research center, which is one of the reasons why it's so important to take all these calls and eyewitness testimonies.
And without, mentioning any names, I'll mention Mark's name, but it's really cool. Amanda sent me a message like, hey, I've got a guy, told where he was from, what had happened, what his occupation was, who would you suggest? I said, Mark Green, definitely. Got in touch with Mark, come to find out they're 20 miles away from each other. Mark has hunted that area. And the way I understand it, Mark said, thank you. They had a very good conversation and he enjoyed it. And so there you go, helping somebody,
and that's all we want to do is just help people, just like we want to help ourselves too in learning more about this subject matter, or just any of these paranormal-esque, insert giant umbrella of paranormal encrypted activity.
Yeah, and Amanda grew up like me, I heard it a few times when I was little, but I didn't really understand what they're talking about the boogers getting you, right?
Exactly. Yeah, I had no idea.
No idea.
I thought it was just a term they would say, like, don't let the boogeyman get you.
Right.
But they were saying, my Nana especially, she would say, y'all kids better get in at night or the boogers will get you, as it was starting to get dark. And I thought they were just trying to get us in. They might have been whistle. Saying it in with tongue in cheek, but no, there's
you
actually
thought it was a ghost, right?
I did, yes.
Yeah. And I did too, because my grandmother always told stories about the cemetery they used to live close by years ago, and talking about hearing a baby crying, and it would come around the house and stuff. So I kind of thought that was booger, but that's what she was talking about.
Mm-hmm.
But
Well, it's
Amanda,
interesting too that like you talk. I've heard both of you share very similar stories about an older generation, usually a beloved older person in the family, talk about these stories, and it's always fascinating to me the disconnect. As if, you know, let's just say Amanda, your grandma, for an example. Oh, don't you know you better get in before the booger gets you.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no explanation. It's as if you should already know what it is because it is so common or maybe perceived
Mhm.
as common.
Mm-hmm.
And you guys aren't the only ones who I've encountered that. I just like to make a note that that's interesting.
And I think it's hilarious when Amanda tells her story, like, was it your grandma was like, "Oh, you kids ran into the booger, didn't you?" Like,
Yeah,
it's no
my
big deal.
dad, my nana,
Like,
all of them, they're just like, "Oh, you ran into the booger." Like it
yeah,
was no
like,
big deal.
yeah, "Oh, y'all just saw a Bigfoot. Take your shoes off. Don't be getting no dirt in here." Like it wasn't anything, you know.
Basically, yeah.
And oh, it feels so good to be able to talk about it. I've taken reports also close to here. They just have blown me away from, like, Ashley said, the older generation. So Amanda, do you want to tell? So y'all, again, people that join late, if you want to know her story, just Google Amanda Stowers,
Mhm.
the Bigfoot lady, or whatever, and then it should pop up. She's been on several podcasts, and uh, you can go listen to it in more detail. But I'm gonna let you. I'm gonna turn you loose. You got some cool pictures here,
All right.
and just I'm gonna sit back and shut up and see how long I cannot talk.
All right, I'll hold you to it. I tease.
I'm gonna turn my mic off.
There you go. We'll just mute you.
Yeah.
Oh, me. So, yes, again, my name is Amanda Stowers, and Roger, a couple of months ago, asked me to come on as a co host with him here on Squatchin Holler, and it has definitely been a wild ride. And so I'm going to toot your horn there for you, Roger. Thanks for bringing me along for this. And he interviewed me on on the show probably a year or so ago, about a
No,
year and a half
no,
ago now.
yeah.
And then we kept in touch after that through TikTok and other social media and Messenger and things like that. And yeah, you invited me to come on and co-host, and here I am. So um, a little bit about myself. I'll just pull up pictures because that's how my brain works. And I apologize for whatever reason. This whole new technology thing, the like looking at myself with the green screen and everything, it's just throwing me off this evening. I'm like, and then you're over there itching.
Yeah.
So anyhow, all right, let me pull up some pictures here. So I pull up this picture because this is um, a family photo of a little bit family history of myself. I guess I've taken on the historian aspect of Bigfoot research. So I'm the baby in this picture. That's my great grandmother holding me, and my great grandfather standing there in his suit. He was a preacher, a Pentecostal preacher. So for those of you who grew up in the South, you know about the laying hands, casting out demons. The only thing they didn't do was handle snakes. Thank goodness they never got that far. So that's my grandmother in the green suit beside me, and then my mother on the far end in the blue shirt. And why do I share their picture? Because them growing up in the church really, really set the tone for, a lot of my thinking on these things. And not only did I grow up in deep Appalachia, but I also grew up with deep spiritual roots as well. So these ladies and my grandpa there, they not only did they believe, if Jesus is very real, they also believe that the devil is very real as well. So when we talked about boogers and ghosts and other things like that, all of that stuff was very real to them. They didn't shy away from that kind of stuff. So it was very normal for us growing up talking about this kind of stuff or seeing it on TV shows. And it was just normal. It wasn't something that we really, shied away from. So flash forward many, many, many years. I ended up having my own Bigfoot experience when I was 15. And again, you can I'm not looking at the comments. Y'all are killing me. Y'all are laughing. So yeah, flash forward many years later, my brother and I, we had a Bigfoot experience, and I didn't see the creature that day. My brother did. I just heard it roar at us. And that's where the comment came in that my grandma and my dad both told us, oh, you kids just done run into the booger, didn't you? Because we had heard my entire life growing up about boogers in the woods. And we always just assumed that it was just a umbrella term for monsters or ghosts or anything that went bump in the night. And being on that particular piece of property where this happened, we knew that there was a ghost on that property. So I thought that was what they were talking about when they talked about the booger on that property. No, they were talking about a Bigfoot apparently, and I just didn't know about it. So that happened to me, and then I ended up seeing something really, really bizarre later on, and I ended up drawing it a couple of years ago. So I'm going to pull that up. So this is a drawing that I did of this bearskin rug looking thing, which is what I'd call it. I called it this bearskin rug looking creature. It was laying flat on its belly with its mouth open like that. It didn't really have it had a little bit of a muzzle, but not like a really long snout. But what was so bizarre about this thing, yeah, definitely not creepy at all. That's for sure. You should see it in person, or should have seen it in person. Yeah, it was really, really, really bizarre. And it was there for 1 second, and then it wasn't. And I just kind of filed it into the back of my head. And I didn't really think about it for a long time. And the reason being, going back to my family here, is that when I was a little, as a kid, all the way up through even to my early adult years, I always was seeing things. I would see angels, I would see demons, I would see ghosts and shadow figures all the time. I would have dreams of things, like attacking me in my sleep, or, I would even have prophetic dreams, which apparently my mom, my grandmother, my great-grandmother, all those people in that picture that I showed you, they all had the same things happen to them. So that's why none of this stuff was really that bizarre to me. It's just like, oh, just another weird something that happened to me. And I just kind of filed it all in the back of my head. Unfortunately, school was school, and, wasn't exactly the popular kid. So I was on the other end of the receiving end of everything. So I never talked about any of this stuff to anybody outside of my family. Roger, you know how it is, especially here in the South. Unless it's somebody you really know, or somebody who's cool with talking about the spooky stuff, you don't talk about it, because you are 100% going to be made fun of. You're going to be ridiculed. Some people I've even heard of have lost jobs and all this kind of stuff because of talking about their experiences.
And go further back, some people burned at the stake. So
you ain't wrong. You ain't wrong. If you go back far enough, which I'm getting into that. And so flash forward into my young adult years, Expedition Bigfoot, the Sasquatch Museum, opened up in North Georgia. And they happened to have Mr. Bob Gimlin, the legend himself, come in there and do a presentation. So I jumped all over it because I was familiar, of course, with the Patterson Gimlin film and Bigfoot. And
I remember that phone call.
Yeah, you were there for that. So I jumped all over that. So I went down there, I stood in line, met him, and got to talking to folks while I was there. And they're like, oh, you've had a Bigfoot experience. You need to talk to David Becerra, the owner of the museum. And so I did. I waited around. I talked to him. I shared my experiences with him. And, we kept in touch, again, just through like Facebook and things like that. Flash forward again, and Ashley and I had met by then and had become great friends, besties, if we call ourselves that all the time. So this is me taking her to the museum. And what's really crazy here is we got our best friend shirts on. And this is, again, before I was even working at the museum. And what was so fun is that you see the pictures on the wall behind our heads.
I was going to ask, is that Sibylla's drawings?
Some are not.
Okay.
Some are from other artists. And the one that's on the far, so directly over my head, you got the one on the very end, and then the next one to it, the second one over that's directly over my head. That brow ridge and that face right there, that one was the one that I picked out that day, was very reminiscent of the creature that I saw that day. Wow. This thing. Wow. The bearskin rug creature thing.
No, thank you.
Yeah, no, thank you. So flash forward again to where is that picture? I know I put it on here. 2019, I got the great opportunity to start working there. So keeping in touch with David and them, whenever I saw that they had a job position open, man, I jumped all over that, and they hired me right away. And so this is within like my first week of working there. That is Sibylla Irwin to my left. That's me in the back there. And that's Miss B Mills, who's taking her picture. So this is a screenshot of her picture. I did that because of the timestamp on it. And so it was a whirlwind. I ended up, falling headfirst into Bigfoot stuff. I got to meet the legend himself, Jeff Meldrum, and David Paulides, of all people, and my absolute favorite researcher, Mr. Scott Carpenter. May he rest in peace. And yeah, my life has been a whirlwind since then, and it's just been a wild ride. I went from being the scared, shy kid who didn't talk about any of this stuff to, now it's literally my daily life. And honestly, working at the museum has gave me the courage to talk not only about my own experiences, but to talk with other people about these things. Because again, I was bullied so much about this kind of stuff. I kept it all to myself, and have a lot, and Ashley can attest for this, I have a lot of social anxiety because of that. So it's allowed me to get out of my shell. And what is it they say? Your vibe attracts your tribe. Right. And the more that I have been sharing about my personal experiences, and the more people that I'm connecting with, like I said, I've made a great group of friends, and I'm continuing to grow on top of being part of this show. So after working at the go ahead.
Well, one thing I want to
I was rambling anyway.
I want to interrupt you for a second, because that decision that I made to get on that stage, which goes against everything in my being, like, never ever. Now, if I had a cash register and a counter, I mean, we did that for 30 years. I told jokes and stories. I could probably do that and talk to people. But I saw your TikTok. That's how I saw you the first time, because I'm like, TikTok, what is this? Maybe I need to try to make one. And what I was impressed with, I would see one of your short videos or whatever, and sometimes it'd be like, wow, that's a good point. Like the way you think about things, or the way you presented it, or whatever. And so if you hadn't made the TikTok, if I hadn't got on stage in Gatlinburg, we wouldn't be doing this. And
exactly.
And we have a few people enjoying it. I mean, if we don't, I don't have any idea of going like big time or whatever. I couldn't handle that. But
me neither.
The feel of the show, we just want it to be just, hey, y'all come on. And that's what I liked about Amanda. It was like, it wasn't, I mean, it's a good way. It wasn't flashy. Like, it's like, hey, think about this. What if? And I'm like, So anytime, like Kane Michael, we'll have him on next month, I believe. That's what I love about him. He does things to make you think, and he's helped me in ways, but not really just feed me a little bit of information and then let me go run with it and with that information and do uh, observe in our woods, so anytime somebody can make you think or laugh and laugh, that's
Mm-hmm.
awesome. So that's kind of how we got together. And she put a sad video out, y'all, y'all that don't know, when TikTok was about to be banned,
Mm-hmm.
she was like, "Oh, if I don't see y'all anymore, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'll miss y'all, and I don't know what I'm gonna do for my creative side, and blah blah blah." And something is like a streak of lightning, because I'd already interviewed you. And I'm
Synchronicity.
like, yeah,
Yep.
I'd already interviewed her, and it went great. The views were the third amount of views behind some big names. It was a fun interview, and I'm like, should I ask her? No, that'd be creepy. Like, you know what I mean? How can I do this and not be creepy? Because I know, and I'm like, hey, would you like? And she said, yeah, sure. And here we are. So, but
Exactly.
anyway,
So everybody kept on saying that, because I had been doing so many interviews in the last year since I decided to come out as, I hate the word, my own researcher per
mhm.
se. And everybody kept saying, hey, you should do a show, you should talk. And when Roger popped it up and asked me that, I was like, you know what? Why not? Let's go. I'm along for the ride. Let's do this thing. So
I've had
again,
other
here we are.
people. I've had other people send me messages like, man, you better be glad you did it when you did, because he said, I've had a couple of people like, you're lucky or whatever, because they I think they were looking for a co-host, and I'm thinking, I need to ask her before somebody else does, and I didn't know if you'd say yes or not, but I felt like the chemistry was cool, when we did the interview.
Yeah, I
And
definitely think so. I do remember our interview specifically, and it was one of my favorites that I did. I thought, like I said, we had good chemistry. You asked good questions, and just, I don't know, we just kind of hit it off, and it worked
yeah,
out. And
yeah,
here we
and
are.
then and she Ashley appears, and so
Yeah,
hold
we're
on.
kind of a dual package.
Well, no, hold on. Y'all talk. Let me grab something here.
Yeah. So, um, look.
So I got a care package the other day, what I call it, and I had some cool stuff in it. And that's one of the cool ones. Um, yeah, y'all, Amanda's her stories out. I have UFO story, one good one. Several paranormal ghost stories. We won't get into that tonight. We might do a ghost show one night and have somebody on and talk about them.
Mhm.
But I don't. And here's where we are. Ashley's the same way. Are they all separate, or are they intertwined somehow? We don't know that, but because some of
That's a
these
very good
areas
question.
have a lot of weirdness going on. I don't necessarily know that the Bigfoot and the orbs are together. Maybe the area draws them. I don't know, but yeah. So we're planning some cool stuff, y'all. We're not. We've got some things. We got a mailbag. What do we call it? Holler
Uh,
mail.
Holler mail.
So anybody that wants to send an email to Amanda or
Oh, yeah.
Ashley or me, and you want us to read your encounter, it doesn't have to be scary and long and all that. Just, I don't care if it's, a roadside sighting or something. We want to read that for y'all. And if you don't want to use our name, like,
Wait,
let's say if you're Bristol in chat and you don't want to use your real name, that's fine. And just let us know and we'll read it. We may pick a show where we read mostly emails and tell about, uh, you know, stuff that we did, like last Friday. I've got some cool video from last Friday. We're going to include that in I hate to say documentary because that sounds like official, but I guess it might be. But anyway, yeah, there, look on bottom there.
Yeah, I'll start running the tickers here on the bottom with our emails, because I've had several people ask us about them. So the Squatchin Holler is the main. It'll just be squatchinholler@gmail.com. And for our listeners, that's spelled SQUATCHINHOLLER. So we spell it the Southern way, Squatchin Holler.
Yeah, and you can pick, like, you can say, "Hey, Roger, give this to Ashley and let her read it for me." I'm like, "Okay," so we
Mhm.
just I think it'll be fun.
I think so
But
too. I've had a lot of people since I've come out as Amanda the Bigfoot Lady on social media, and who have emailed me with some really interesting encounter stories. Some of them I can't share publicly because I have that trust with them. I said that
right,
I wouldn't share it,
right.
and I can do that with well. If any of you guys listening have anything you want to share and you don't want me to share it publicly, just let me know. I will definitely keep that under wraps.
Yep. Now, Miss Ashley, who's gonna show you do you know how to show the pictures? Or you want Amanda the
Oh, Amanda, if you don't mind.
I don't mind at all. So
all right,
let
so
me.
here's Roger being quiet again.
Good luck.
Good luck. Oh, it's so hard, y'all. I can't. I had one of my
So
old buddies said, if you ever figure out something to do running your mouth, you might be all right. I'm like, yeah.
you might be
Look at you now.
Yeah.
look at you now. Can I just say I'm going to gush here a little bit because like obviously this is Roger's show, his baby, and I think it's safe to say Amanda and I are if Amanda's along for the ride, I'm the stowaway on the ship. This was not on my bingo card for 2025. So um I'm just happy to be a part of this, and I'm just so thankful. I will also just gush at Amanda every time. Sometimes I catch myself in the camera, and I love you so much, and we're doing this thing together, and it's just
Mm.
been so much fun.
Who
So
thought that two crazy girls who met each other in the oil fields of North Dakota in an
of all
office
places,
job would be doing
well,
what we're doing now?
and I think it's important to say that. And I know sometimes our stories overlap, and I know sometimes it's easy to tell the same story over and over again, but it's important because I think, as Roger likes to say, it's our origin story. And so
Exactly.
similar, similar to Amanda, it's like, we have these experiences and as kids and not really know what to do with it. And the difference is, I will say, nobody has ever accused me of being quiet, shy. Um,
Who you?
no. um, for me, I had kind of the opposite of Amanda. It's not that I had an open family to discuss these things. We were kind of, I don't know if latchkey kid is a term we can say anymore, but parents mean well, but we're very hands off. And being the excited, energetic kid that I was, I could be not talking about monsters and strange things, and I don't think I would have gotten any attention either. So, I mean, these were just things that have always fascinated me. So, from a very, very early age, which is funny because uh, I was also a very scared child. I was so scared of the dark and monsters and just sometimes even TV shows would just scare me so much, and I couldn't watch scary movies
I was
and
the same
now
way.
but along, somewhere down the line it changed, and I was able to channel that fear into a healthy curiosity. And I will say the parameters there being healthy, because I think with anything, too much of a good thing is a bad thing. And I think sometimes people can get obsessive with their quest for knowledge. So,
Hmm.
as Roger points out, we are not experts, we're enthusiasts. We take ourselves not as serious, but we do take the subject matter super serious. And so, anyway, I don't even know where to start. I didn't necessarily have a true blue paranormal experience when I was a kid, just a love of supernatural things and cryptids and stuff. And I've said this a few times. Uh, Instead of watching Saturday morning cartoons, like I would watch the Discovery Channel between like 9 and noon because it was the only time you could watch reruns of paranormal stuff, cryptid shows, In Search of with your Leonard Nimoys, whatever special Fox was running at the time. I mean, Amanda, I'm sure you remember like the alien autopsy footage and all that stuff. And
yeah, the moon landing is fake and all that
yeah,
kind of stuff
yeah,
that would
yeah.
come on.
And just millennial kid things, I guess. But I will say, it. I think I shared this on the first episode I did with you guys, which is I did when I was 5. I thought I had for lack of better wording, a water monster sighting when I was a small child. I know as an adult now that it was not a creature. I know exactly what it is that I thought I saw in the lake that I was at the time, but it did really just spark something in me where it just cemented this lifelong love of, Nessie and her kin all around the world. And I've said this 100 times. She's the most famous, like arguably Nessie's the most famous, but by no means is she the only one, and certainly not even the most well documented one. So I just don't even know where to start. You guys leave really big impressions to fill, and
No, because I mean, look, I'm in awe, y'all. You get people that talk about things, talk about doing things, and bucket list. She's been to Scotland twice, and if Amanda, if you'll show some pictures or whatever, and kind of, I was impressed. I'm like, wait a minute, what? That's on my bucket list, and you've been there twice.
Yeah,
And it's just amazing story, just to get to do something like that you've always wanted. So just like me, I was big. I say big fan of Skinwalker Ranch, but it's not that. It was like it was drawing me, right? I'm watching this thing and I'm seeing things they haven't pointed out yet, and they do later, and I'm like, I felt this draw, and probably like you did, and we jumped in the truck and left this driveway and drove to Utah to front gate of Skinwalker Ranch. I just want to see the area. And we hung around the area for a while, and after I left, I didn't feel that draw anymore. But I'm still, it's hard to explain. I still am very, very interested in what they find and what's under that ground. But I will tell you, and Ashley, I'll quit here, but we took video the whole trip, 4K iPhones, beautiful, perfect video. The 3-minute video or so, 5-minute lead up to Skinwalker Ranch looks like we took it with an eye potato. It's
wow.
It's pixelated, it's grainy. I don't know if there's some kind of signal there that they're putting out or something the ranch is involved. And you can find that on the other channel too, the Squatchin Holler, and go look at it. And we didn't really look at it until we got back home. And I'm like, why is this one different than all the rest of them? Did we lose her?
I ran her off. You ran her off. We done ran her off.
Just shut up, Roger. But it's just, so what I'm saying is, I kind of know what she felt like, wanting to go. And I'm just amazed that you went with her too, didn't you?
I did. Yeah. On the first trip we went there. It was her and I and my husband together. We went there. So let me
see what she's. Yeah.
So let me pull this up here. So this is Ashley and I with the famous Nessie hunter, Steve Feltham.
Hey,
so,
honey.
You're back.
We thought you went back to Scotland.
The gremlins got me. Everything just turned off. That was creepy. What
was I talking about?
I don't know. My power went out.
I was talking about Skinwalker Ranch, right?
Oh, you lost your power and everything.
Everything.
Oh, that's right. You were talking about Skinwalker Ranch.
For the sake of the show, I'll shut up.
Oh, snap.
Everything in the room just turned off.
You got EMP'd. No. But show the picture again. That's
so
cool
we had
picture.
we were talking about
That wasn't me.
Yeah,
That was
show the
Diane.
picture again. Yeah, we're pulling it back up, Miss Diane. So
Oh, Steve. Okay, is this the only one we got to since I was gone?
that
Yes.
is literally the first one I pulled up.
Yes.
Okay, so for everybody, this was the first trip to Scotland. As Roger said, I've had the absolute honor and privilege of going twice. The first time was more or less a vacation. I had the opportunity to go on vacation, and
Yeah, we ended up making it a big vacation for all of us.
for all
And
of us,
it was Shane and I's 10th wedding anniversary and bestie trip. And I think it was, except for you going into Canada, this was literally our first time flying anywhere outside of the US for sure. Definitely
sure.
a huge, I mean, this was a huge, huge deal for us.
It took us almost a year to plan and just count. Literally, we had a little timer counting down the days to get there. So, I will say this trip was more or less a vacation. It didn't necessarily have to do specifically with, like, it was not a researching trip in general. Of course, we were going to do as much Nessie stuff as possible, but this was a shared vacation amongst 3 people. So we really wanted to see everything that Scotland has, because believe it or not, beyond just paranormal things, we're both history buffs, and we love that particular type of culture as well. And so it was a very big trip, and I was just so thankful that Amanda and Shane were both so graceful to really, they gave me plenty of Nessie time.
Yeah. Yeah, we
Um,
did. That was definitely, we made a whole day out of going and doing the Nessie stuff. And I forgot to pull up pictures of them to show with everyone, but I wish we had photos of us at some of the other Scotland stuff, like the standing stones that they don't know what is there. Do you remember the energy there?
yes, I almost sent pictures of that, but I was already I didn't want to. Can we just go back to the one of us on the so you guys probably can't see. My eyes are squinting and like my cheeks are so red. I was bawling my eyes out. This was a lifelong dream to be on the loch, that, Loch Ness, and of course the infamous bestie shirts. We have a lot of there's a lot of pictures of us wearing those shirts, and so just kind of loud and proud there. I just want to point out it's one of my favorite pictures ever. So
Yeah, it's definitely was a once in a lifetime deal. And we had, what was our going thing that we had about if we kept talking, like if we actually see anything, do we say anything or do we keep
so
it to ourselves?
yeah, we had a very long flight, and between the 3 of us, we were discussing like, okay, guys, so if one of us does see something, whether it's Nessie or any paranormal something, are we do we keep it to ourselves? Are we all on the same page? Or, are we contacting the press? And I think we all mutually agreed, to keep it between ourselves, or at least that's how I remember it. I could be wrong, but um, unfortunately, we never had to put it to the test. We didn't actually see anything that trip that I
No, we
recall.
never
So.
did.
Oh, but
We
the
felt some
energy.
it felt some weird energies in some of the castles and
Some of the
the
standing
history of
stones.
everything, the standing stones especially. And Hillary's asking the question to the picture of us here is that Nessie over Amanda's right shoulder? And as much as I wish that was, no, that's somebody on a little boat way out there. There were several other boats out on the water that day.
And big buoys, actually. They had really
Yes.
big buoys in the loch there still.
So flash forward many years later, or this was in 2019. So flash forward to last year. And do you want to tell them how, hang on, where we find the picture here? This happened.
Gosh, I'm having just as much fun looking at these pictures. I hope, as biased as that sounds, I hope that the feeling's mutual for everybody. So this is June 2024. This is the second trip I got to take to Scotland, specifically for the purpose of joining the second annual The Quest. Shout out to Mr. Alan McKenna, our team lead with Loch Ness exploration. Could I be any more of a dork? If you can't tell, I'm the one making the Nessie hands. So this was a large group of people. Some of them I know from the Nessie circles. Some of them were just happening to visit that day at the center itself. But it's just a great picture. Definitely some camaraderie there. That was at the end of the day. That was the very last day of the quest. And for those who don't know, in 2023, there was a push to do a big Loch Ness Nessie kind of revival, and it was called The Quest, led by the Loch Ness Center and Alan McKenna and the Loch Ness Exploration Group, and it was the largest search for Nessie in over 50 years. And it was all hands on deck. It was surface watch, it was sonar, it was audio recording. It was very huge. It was people all over the world were not only there in person, but monitoring cameras along the loch as well. It was a huge effort. And I've said this a few times, I actually don't know if it was intended to be an annual thing. To the best of my knowledge, it was only supposed to be a one-time event, but it has since grown and was so successful that while I could not personally attend the first one, when the second one came around, and I was personally invited to be a part of it, and I literally just could not pass the opportunity. This was a lifelong dream of mine to not only go to Scotland, but to be a part of an official Loch Ness expedition with a team of experts and people that I've been looking up to. I mean, we'll get there, guys. Hold on. So
speaking of official, let's get over here.
Yes,
so some of the equipment you guys used.
Yes, some of the equipment. Most of that is audio equipment that actually goes into the water itself to get audio recording. It's the equipment itself is surprisingly durable, but on the other side of that coin, surprisingly sensitive. I mean, you're able to pick up things from such a far distance. And what's really fascinating is just, and we've said this before on the show, it's like a lot of finding what's out there is that we don't know is cataloging the things that we do know. And it's so important to get an idea of natural sounds, whether they're animal, whether it's, ecology itself, the water, whether it's even the earth. You can actually pick up earth shifts sometimes with these things. And it's like just knowing the difference of what you're hearing. Did they capture any sightings of Nessie? So I'll get to that. I do want to go back a little bit because I do want to share something very similar to Roger's story of how he kind of got connected with people and sending out the email. I actually met Alan McKenna. Well, let me rephrase. Was introduced to him. Likewise, I was cleaning my house one day and was looking for a podcast. Usually I look for the same things in my podcast. And of course, I was looking up Loch Ness, and a phenomenal podcast came up called Beastly Theories, hosted by the one and only Andy McGrath. He's the host of Weird Britain. If you guys get a chance, check it out. It's a great show. He's a great author as well. Very knowledgeable when it comes to European cryptid encounters and strange encounters. And this episode happened to feature Alan. I had no idea who either of these two men were. This was literally just a random podcast that I had listened to. And I was so enthralled. They touched on things that I've been saying for years, or other people would never really mention or get around to. I felt like I was in the room with them while they were having the conversation. It was just so engaging. I remember texting Amanda, like not even 10, 15 minutes into it. I sent her the podcast. I'm like, hey, this might get really bad later, but I'm 10 minutes in. I love it. I'm sending this to you. Listen to it,
And
And that's
I'll interject with that a little bit too, is the, as you and I have discussed, there's so many different Bigfoot podcasts out there and episodes discussing Bigfoot and stuff. And if there is one out there discussing Nessie or other water monsters, it's usually either with a little tongue in cheek, or they're few and far between. They don't exist. So for you to come across this one, it was just so like, oh my gosh, I've got to get a hold of these people. This is the first time I've ever heard somebody, talking about the subject matter that I, being you, love so much. And they have the same enthusiasm that I do. So I had to interject that a little bit for you.
Thank you. And similarly, like clearly not taking themselves seriously, but the subject matter very seriously. And at the end of the podcast, they were talking, and basically Andy was asking Alan, hey, do you have anything you want to plug, and Alan had mentioned the Loch Ness exploration group, and it was just a simple email at the end, and on a whim, I'm just like, I'll reach out. I don't normally do that, and I just did on a whim, thinking this would be really great to just say, hey, I appreciate this. I appreciated this episode. I appreciated the conversation and the information. And to my absolute surprise, Alan had wrote back to me and very thoughtfully in great detail. And it just sparked a friendship. And next thing I knew, I was in all these different groups online, Facebook and social media, talking to people that, like I said, narrated Loch Ness exploration that meant a great deal to me. So kind of flash forward. I'm sorry. I feel panicked. I'm afraid my power is going to go out again.
I was in the same boat. I'm like, I don't know why I'm panicking.
So okay.
I'm just selecting random pictures for you.
Yeah, just go. It's just we have here Alan McKenna taking the picture, and that's me just trying to. Gosh, guys, if I could tell you, my face was so sore at the end of the day. I was smiling so hard through that entire day. It was just such a wonderful time.
Yeah, because not only did everybody want to meet you. Let me start over. Not only did you want to meet people wanted to meet you, because they're like, oh my God, they said they called you the American. Oh, the American, there she is.
The American, yeah.
She's here.
And yeah. I thought what was cool when Ashley was like, hey y'all, I just told these guys, and they're watching Squatchin Holler in a bar in Scotland. I'm like, in a pub. I'm like, what? Like, oh my God.
Yeah.
That was cool.
Yeah, your team here.
Yep, this is the team, the unofficial team. This is like the ragtag team. Alan put out a memo to anybody who was there for the quest. Hey, we're doing some night recon if anybody wants to join. And we have here on the far right, we have Mr. Dave Hastings, affectionately known as Davey Hastings. Mr. Roland Watson, who, if anybody's even remotely interested in Loch Ness, I would highly recommend looking up the Loch Ness Mystery blog. I've never seen somebody so dedicated.
I'll see if I can't plug that into the comments there for folks who want to find it.
Thank you. Just every little happening and going on that loch. He is so thorough. He himself is also an author. Just all around great guy. And of course, Alan McKenna there. And if we weren't talking about Nessie, we were talking about Star Wars, and everybody there was just a fun group. And I have to say, as the token American joining for this Loch Ness expedition, running around the Highlands in the middle of the night, maybe or maybe not getting a little too close to Urquhart Castle, spelunking over sheep. It was just, and creating memories, I think. I mean, outside of finding the creature itself, like just these lifelong memories and friends that I talk to on a regular basis. now I'm really going to try not to fangirl out. So for anybody who knows anything about Nessie knows maybe they don't know the name, but they definitely know the face. This here is the man, the legend himself, Scottish Gandalf, uh, Mr. Adrian Shine, the unofficial face of Loch Ness and Nessie. And for people like me who grew up watching the reruns of, like I said, In Search of and other shows, Adrian is a naturalist, which is a type of scientist that studies his particular field of interest is ecology, and he is probably fair to say the leading expert on Loch Ness as far as ecology and the actual science behind it, the creatures, the fauna, the coming and goings of the life cycles of that loch in the Highlands in general. He is the guy who knows all of this. Mm-hmm. In the 70s, he as a younger man, he kind of got that spirit of adventure, and the Nessie craze was kind of picking back up, and he went in literally in a yellow submarine, and he was going to lead the charge of finding Nessie. And
it's the yellow submarine y'all are standing in front of, right?
That is a replica, but yes, that it's a to scale, like it's very much the yellow submarine. And I tell you what, guys, I was in elementary school, and I remember it was like career day. What do you want to do when you grow up? And the word cryptozoology was not in the lexicon of people. Like it did not exist when I was a kid. So to say that I wanted to be a cryptozoologist and join Mr. Shine on a expedition in the Yellow Submarine, and people, I was already the weird kid. I don't think anybody had any clue what I was talking about. And I remember my teacher like, oh, like Jacques Cousteau, you want to be a marine biologist? No, I want to be a cryptozoologist. And so to get to meet Mr. Shine and talk with him, discuss, share ideas, and hopefully share that kinship of, it's not just Nessie. The love I have in my heart for Scotland and all things Scotland, and the I keep saying this word, but the ecology and the ecosystem. And Amanda, I'm sure you can attest to it. It's super easy to believe in the concept of real magic when you're in a place that feels so magical and untouched. And
it really is.
There's just something so different about it. I mean, there were parts we would joke in certain parts of, oh, this kind of looks like Washington, or oh, this kind of looks like Georgia, but really there's just something so ethereal. And I'm sure anybody here if I have anybody watching from Scotland or whatnot, they're probably like, what are you talking about? But
yeah.
But I think when you don't have it, to feel it is completely different. Just like how maybe when you're there, you kind of lose touch of it being there, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I keep seeing the pictures and I want to talk about
No, it's just, I was just letting everybody see as you talk, some of the cool, and y'all, there are tons more. We did a show, that one that you said was where they were playing in the pub, which was a fun show. It's just, all we wanted to do, the person made the comment about being, unoriginal or whatever. And like, this is where we come from. This is how we ended up together. We have open minds. Amanda and Ashley, they've been exposed to more of the weirder cryptids, and we'll get Ashley to tell her story about the knot deer sometime. And but I feel like we accidentally built a great team, which there's more people to the team. We got Peyton and Keely and Heather, and but where my my talent ends, they pick up, it overlaps, and I feel like this is going to be a lot of fun. And we think about, like, okay, we want to get the truth out there. So when I was talking to Doug, when he approached me, and we had a long conversation, I guess y'all can believe that, on the phone.
Who
And Doug's
you
like,
never.
yeah, and him too. And he said,
Yeah.
Roger, he said, there's not a lot of money in this, and you got to love it. He said, why are you doing a podcast? I said, to get the truth out there and kind of learn more truths,
Mhm.
I don't have any desire to be the first one to get the smoking gun in anything. I just want to have a place where people can come and tell their stories. They can listen. There's a lot of people that sent me short messages like, thank you for doing what you do, because it helped me connect some dots, what happened to me. And they won't tell their story because they can't, because of their jobs. You would be shocked at the people that have certain jobs that can't talk about this. And
Or just don't want to break. They just can't wrap their head around it in a way, because it would force them to reevaluate things that they're not ready to confront yet, let alone something that they saw. But
yes. Yep. And some people, like, okay, Amanda, you're around Bigfoot stuff all day.
Mhm.
Ashley, you probably got Nessie stuff everywhere. You talk to people from over there. And I have friends that, that are living in a spot where they have to look both ways before they come out the front door, to make sure that the boogers are not out there. And, but the thing is, you go to Kroger's or whatever that store you said earlier,
Fred
and
Meyers,
you look around, and there's nobody in that store. You're in a football stadium with 70,000 people. There might be 10 people. So it's the subject. Man, it's really, when this finally comes out, that these things are real, and some of these things are like Nessie, like you said before. That's more believable. Some of the pictures I've seen. What's the
so can
what's
I
it
interrupt?
called? Yeah, of
So
course.
yes, I here's my stance on Nessie, because I get asked that, oh, you really think you're going to find the Loch Ness monster? And it's so funny to me, because much like Bigfoot, Nessie, there's arguments to be made on either side. I can literally give you an argument for flesh and blood, and I can give you an argument for woo, and I can,
Mhm.
walk somewhere down the middle as
Mhm.
well. And it's funny to me, because most evidence for Nessie would suggest that it's some kind of prehistoric creature. Obviously, a lot of people think in their heads like a plesiosaur or whatnot. But when I say prehistoric, I've said this before, think of like sharks, crocodiles, trees, even things that we take for granted every single day that are very prehistoric. They've been around forever. And if not, and by the way, there's way more things out there than plesiosaur. There's probably 20 different variants of creatures that, if you were to just look at it, you would say colloquially, oh, plesiosaur, even though it's a completely different creature with its own name and species and class and everything. So, um, the fact that this is some kind of, in my personal opinion, I'm only speaking for myself, from what I've seen, from what I've witnessed, um, whatever it is very old, and um, the evidence that supports it, again, tends to lead towards more flesh and blood. And it's so funny to me that people just poo poo on Nessie like it's just the most absurd thing, but then go around and tell me about how they saw Bigfoot come out of a UFO. Like, and I'm not discrediting
I
that
know.
in the
Mhm.
slightest, but what is more reasonable to assume? An undiscovered ancient species, not too dissimilar to like a coelacanth, or what are those deep water fish? Why am I drawing a blank? Sturgeon, like a sturgeon or something. That's somehow less believable than than some of the other cryptid theories. But Roger's right. I just because I have a particular fondness for Nessie. So yeah, Ogopogo, they're in BC. Thank you, Kevin. I actually am quite close to that area, so I get to go up there quite a bit, which is exciting. But I'll talk more about that later.
Well, people are more, when I would wear my Bigfoot hat or whatever, and they're like, "What is that?" And they're like, "Oh, Bigfoot," and they kind of laugh about it. Well, then I'll kind of get quiet. And I'm like, you ever seen a ghost or any, UFO? Oh my God! Then here they go. But that's the thing. They've been exposed to paranormal activity, or they've been exposed to something they didn't understand in the sky, didn't know what it was. We've been exposed to the other stuff, so it's
Right.
like, so they can talk about that freely, like, "Oh, my grandma's house was, it was haunted. We lived in it, and I got up one morning. She'd been dead 20 years, and she was cooking breakfast one morning." And you're like, "What?" So their stories are way wilder than like, this Bigfoot stepped out in front of me, looked at me, walked up the hill 30 seconds, and changed my life. And but they'll laugh at you. They'll laugh at, but and we're like, okay, well, that's
Yeah, I
it's
was
real.
able to
It's
share
real. What do
my
you say?
ghost stories with people way more often in school and with my friends and stuff than I would even remotely think about sharing a Bigfoot or cryptid encounter.
Yeah,
Any of
and
those that I had. I think, Ashley, you were probably one of the first ones I ever shared outside of my husband and my family.
Yeah, and likewise, you were the very first person I told about what I believe to be a demonic entity that I had seen in my
Yeah.
life, and so it's just like you almost kind of like look behind your shoulder because you're just like, it's like you don't want to scare people off and think, have them think anything of you, but at the same time, it's like, what'd you say, Amanda? Your vibe attracts your tribe. You find the people, and
Yep.
Yep. And that's,
what other
and
pictures did I bring, by the way? I'm trying to think.
I think
I
we,
think we just about went through them as far as what
Yeah.
I was able to get uploaded.
Gotcha.
I know you had a ton of them, but it's like, oh, wait a minute. We forgot one here. Amanda, you forgot one.
What? Oh, yeah. That was one of mine. So
Oh, there's
I had
several
this.
you forgot.
Yeah, I didn't get to them. I started rambling on myself. So I pulled this one up because it's just a really, really cool newspaper article. Because I get people in the Bigfoot world, especially, you'll hear, and especially in all the Facebook groups, like, oh, there's only real researchers get out in the wood, or the ones who get
Right.
out in the woods, and this is like, and because of my paranormal experiences that I've had in my life, where I've had attachments attached to me and follow me home, I don't actively go out and search for Bigfoot on my own. Now that I've got my group of friends now, Roger and some of these other boys and folks in chat, I may be a little bit more open to it. They've invited me to come out on campouts and things like that. But anyway, I personally have a great interest in history. And so articles like this, these are the kind of things that I am digging into. So there's when I did my first presentation, I got invited to do shout out to I can't remember the guy's name. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry.
It happened. No, but y'all,
BigfootTalks.com. He invited me to come and present at the conference, and so yeah, this is a screenshot of my. If y'all want to watch it, it's on my YouTube channel,
Right.
Amanda the Bigfoot Lady. You can go and watch it.
And I'm not going to spoil there's an oh crap moment.
Mm-hmm.
It's like when I saw that, I'm like, whoa!
Mic drop.
Wow! And I
because
started.
We're not talking about just recent history, as in like that newspaper article from the 1870s. We're talking like 14, 15, way back.
And I started Googling what you presented.
Mm-hmm.
I immediately stopped and went and started Googling, looking at pictures.
Same.
And I looked at the experts, what they said it was, but looking at it, and I'll let everybody, we'll talk about it on another show, but they're wrong because of how everything's presented in that painting. it doesn't make sense what they say, the experts, right? So we'll
Mhm.
talk about
Like,
that later.
why of all things would that be there?
Right. And why would, if everything else was presented this way, why is that the only one different? You know, so anyway, it's a big time, like Ashley said, mic drop. You know, I don't get goosebumps much. I mean, you know, when I first saw the Patterson Gimlin film, it was Mr. MK Davis stabilized it. You know, I probably saw it before that, but I was talking to Kumbo the other night, and Kumbo was he said one of the first people to talk to him after he did that, and he showed it to him, and nobody had seen it yet. And he's like, you know, this is going to change things. And he thought he was talking about Bigfoot research. He said, no, MK came up with that process.
Yeah.
So anyway, what I'm rambling on about, when I get goosebumps,
Neil, that was
it's
name,
pretty
sorry.
crazy. Is this where it was at?
Yeah, this was the poster I made for that conference, and I'm glad I pulled it up because Neil, if you're watching this later,
Sorry,
I'm
Neil.
sorry, I forgot your name.
She's getting
So
older.
yeah,
She can't help it.
I just turned 40, man. It's downhill. It's downhill already.
You know what my daddy told me? My 40th birthday. We were sat there on the porch. He said, "Congratulations on making this far." Opened up a couple birthday beers, toast. He said, "You don't have a damn thing to look forward to." I'm
Right?
like, why do me like that? Tell me
I
tomorrow.
don't know. I've got a lot to look forward to.
I know.
Life is
He
getting
was so
interesting
funny,
now.
y'all. He was dry. He was funny. Yeah, everything you know is wrong. Yep.
Yeah, there's a
Yep.
comment that just popped up that says everything
Yep.
you know is wrong. And
We're
once you
finding
really
that
start
out.
looking into that, it's 100% true. There's so much history that's warped per se. So yeah, it's
Well,
it's an interesting thing.
so we hit 2 hours. I think y'all, we'll save more for later. We just wanted y'all to know how we got together and how we do things. We've had other encounters, experiences, and we're just trying to figure out why. We're trying to figure out why us. Like I said, the more, you know, I don't get out as much anymore because I can't, but we are going to go to the Tennessee Wildman Conference Saturday. I hope to see a bunch of y'all there. Is your boss going?
He is actually. Yeah,
I
he'll
thought
be
I saw a
there.
post. Yeah. So
Yep.
I tell him to look me up. And
I already did. I already put a bug in his ear and said, "Hey, my co-host is going to be there. Make sure you go say hi to him."
I'll be sitting in one spot probably. So, but Ashley, thank you, y'all. We the first episode we kind of knew how it was going to go, so we knew it'd be kind of crowded, and with Greg and Kumbo on, it's such a great time, and I'm sure they'll be back sometime. But we're having fun, guys, and we're you know, I know there's people, some of us talked about this, like, you know, there's people that ask good questions and they're doubters. That's okay. That's cool. Like, hey, come, you know, let's talk. But there's
There's no
one that
such thing as a dumb question. There's definitely such
no.
thing as a mean question, but there's no
Yeah.
such thing as a dumb question.
I agree.
And I'll be like, I'm the first one to say, I don't know. You know, I have no idea, but this person might, you know. But we were discussing it, like, there's some people that are so mean. Like, what happened to them? Like,
Right?
what, you know,
Who hurt you?
yeah, who brought you over from Reddit and threw you here in our chat? You know what I mean? Because those people over there, they're horrible. They're vicious. And we laugh at them. They hold a value for us, the ones, because, you know, the idea for the show kind of come from some, I'm like, you know what? It was really vicious, but it made a point too. Like, nobody knows us over here. So this is us. We're, you know, we're not trying to change the world. We're just trying to figure out things. If we can have some fun doing it, and I'm not going to put here's what you're not going to see. You're not going to see an AI fake video and us go, oh my God, look at it. If we feel like it's legit, we'll share it. If we have permission, we have several people that I know, you know, Flat Rock, our buddy down in South Alabama, he has tons of audio that, you know, maybe we can show sometime and let people listen to and get him
that would
on.
be good.
He
Flat Rock's got some good stuff.
he records every night. Every night.
That's impressive.
And he's made his own parabolic mics. And y'all, I'm gonna tell y'all this. It's in the show. Some people might not know this. Something we started doing. Kenny Shivers knows this. Wind Clan Ken knows this. Harley and Flat Rock and we have a 4-way messenger thing because we're tied together with the Ord thing, and we've got people wanting us to come on and talk about it or whatever. And I lost the thought there. What was I talking about?
It derailed.
Guys, we're batting 0.
I don't know. It's like what?
Yeah. Hey guys, welcome to our show. We're all a bunch of derailed trains. So sorry. Hope y'all are along for the ride.
Well, yeah, I was going to make a point here at the end.
Come back so we can avenge ourselves.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God, y'all!
Yeah.
It was.
So while it's coming back to you, since we want to give a shout out to all of our new followers, people who have come over from the Untold Radio Network, and earlier we had the tickers going here on the bottom of the show here with our email addresses to contact us. So for myself, you can reach me at amandathebigfootlady@gmail.com. And that's amandathebigfootlady@gmail.com. And you can also message me on any of my social media platforms. I go by Amanda the Bigfoot Lady on all of those. And let me flip this over again here. Roger, you can find him on most media platforms as well. And that is Squatchin Holler @gmail.com. Again, that's spelled like how we do here in the South. SQUATCHINHOLLER @gmail.com. And Ashley here has now joined the social media lexicon here. You can now reach her with any questions you have at ashleythenessylady@gmail.com. And I think right now you just have YouTube and Instagram. What others do you have right now, Ashley?
Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. Yeah.
Perfect. So as you continue to grow, we will continue to plug.
Yeah, and I'll defend myself here. Y'all, I have to look at the screen when I have my thoughts going. If I ever glance at the chat and I see something, I'm like, boom, it's gone. So
it's gone.
Yeah. And that's my fault. But thank y'all for chatting. You know, we've had big names on that have other shows and they see the chat rolling. We love the interaction. Y'all can come here and just I don't want to use the word safe space, but we're all like-minded. And yeah, exactly, squirrel. Like I'm the world's worst one. But thank y'all very much. You know, people that'll hear us on the other platforms, thank you guys. If you want to see when we have guests and they bring pictures, and Miss Shoop next week, Miss Barbara Shoop, same time, 7:00 Thursday night. She said she had a bunch of pictures and maybe videos. She's the one that if you watch Flash of Beauty and she caught the cloaker video, which is really confusing to the brain, she's going to kind of educate us on some of probably the energies and stuff that we've ran into. Not, I've had several things happen. We'll get into that later that changed my way of thinking about the energies and different parts of the country and the world that, I've been to Arizona and you feel the energy and the vortices, the vortex, whatever. I'm sensitive to some of that stuff. Didn't know what it was. And so we're going to have fun doing this, but we're going to spread the truth. If it, that's just what we're doing. We're not going to lie to you. We're not going to fake anything. We're going to have good guests on, and that's it. We're going to ask good questions, and hope y'all have fun. So, ladies, have any parting words?
Nope. I think you hit the nail on the head. Again, thanks everybody for coming along for the ride.
We got somebody come along is in Scotland.
Text message?
Ashley must have texted somebody. No, okay. Yep, Jeff.
Oh, I should have. That's a good idea.
It's been great meeting Jeff and all the guys.
Yeah, shout out to Jeff here in the comments.
Yeah.
Yes, thanks for joining us in the comments section tonight.
Oh yeah. So with the Southern goodbyes are the longest ever, but
they are.
But we just want you to know how much we appreciate all of y'all. I mean, everything you do, and the moderators. Thank you. Thank you for people in chat being respectful and keep squatching, like Kevin Morrison says. All right. See y'all later.
All right. Good night, y'all.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.